I do look cute with my battle little bun.
I really like our microphone.
My microphone?
Yeah, how it's so distinct.
I feel adorable as shit. We're recording, right?
Yeah.
Thank God. So, hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Catherine.
I Adam.
That's Tim. He's Instagramming. I wanted to talk about ghosts today because I believe in them. I think they're a real thing, and I have more to say about it.
Take it away.
I also
don't
believe in ghosts. I have
You
quite
don't?
a few.
I don't think so.
You
I don't know.
You okay?
I don't
we
know
need
where
to
to
dwell.
stand. I don't know where to stand on it. So,
So you
get to
haven't
it.
experienced it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get back to
Why don't we begin by you and I will swap some stories of our experiences because we have had ghostly
We've had experiences.
And then we'll go to the third party that does
The non-believer.
I'm a believer.
Our sacrifice for later this evening.
Sounds
See?
good. Please.
Okay, yeah. So, I don't know. I think Tim has experienced more spooky ghosts. I've more experienced like
Casper the friendly ghost.
not Casper per se, but maybe his like obnoxious uncles. Which I always want to say are names Flotsam and Jetsam and Stinky, but I know Flotsam and Jetsam are from My Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid, not My Little Mermaid.
My Little Mermaid.
Right?
My Little
That's
Mermaid.
kind of what I was thinking. So when I grew up in a tiny little town called Shortsville, and we lived in a ranch house, and I never really experienced anything there. Or I guess never really saw anything. I definitely experienced things, but I never saw anything. I always had that creepy feeling that like somebody was in our basement watching me. We had a finished basement, but our laundry room and like this back closet was sort of connected, but the furnace was in the way. So it's like we couldn't, once you were in the laundry room, you couldn't walk into the back closet. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But I could always see past the furnace and into this back closet that I couldn't have access to when I was in the laundry room. And I always felt like somebody was just staring at me right there.
Right.
And the very typical, you just have that like tingly feeling when you're going up the stairs, that sort of thing. But if I was ever alone there, I always felt like I was watched. Just always felt uneasy. I always hated going to the kitchen at like 2 a.m. by myself.
Your mom and dad had more than just that, though.
Well, yeah, so this is what I'm trying to get at. This is what I always felt there. I still haven't taken a sip of my wine yet. So that's what I always felt there. My dad isn't really a believer, but apparently one night my parents were in bed and they felt like something jump on the foot of the bed, and it's after our dog had died and before we had our cat. So it definitely wasn't that. And my dad was like, "Oh, do you feel that?" Mom's like, "Yeah, I felt it." And then my brother moved out. He had to move back home. He moved into our basement, and he said that he felt like something was sitting at the edge of his bed. I never had that, but I always felt like weird. Okay, so that house was built in like the 70s. Fast forward to like 3 years ago. Moved into this house with my family, built in the 1800s, super spooky, very mansion-y, very creepy.
It literally is a mansion, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of
it's
ridiculous.
huge.
It's where we did
Black Orchid.
yeah.
Premiere.
The premiere, yeah.
It's a really cool house, but yeah, it's got that eerie vibe to it.
Yeah, so you would think that you would feel creepy things there.
Right.
And we never really did. So I'm just saying that I found it odd that like I lived in this house that was built in the 70s a majority of my whole life, pretty much. And I always felt really creepy, really uneasy. Moved to this house that's over 100 years old and didn't feel that way. My mom did experience like our video camera turning on because she always filmed for Christmas. She experienced that turning on. A tapestry did go over like these cubbies that I have. And I like to think that my grandpa followed us there. I like to think he's a ghost. I like to think he's chilling at our house. But that's all I've really experienced.
Real quick, as a side note, I'm just because I don't know this. When did you guys move?
We moved from
3 years ago?
Shortsville. Yeah.
Because we've been together for 2 years. You moved a year before you met me.
Yeah, I'd say probably
Interesting.
3 years ago.
I assumed you'd grown up there more than that.
No,
so.
we had moved shortly after I graduated college, and I was still chilling with mom and dad.
Gotcha. I know what that's like.
Yeah, yeah.
Good time.
Yeah. But
Well, and the history of each place, just because one place was built in the 70s or the 90s or the 2000s, and another place was the 1800s, if nothing bad, like nobody died in a negative way in the 1800s one, then it would you would think that there would be no negative energy, opposed to if someone killed themselves or whatever else.
So the house in Shortsville, they used to have family funerals there. They used to put the caskets through the dining room
That's
window.
Very similar to what happened at my...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't experienced much. I like to think that the only little bit that I did experience in the newer house to me, the house in the 1800s, was with my grandpa there, because he had passed when we moved to this house in Newark. It was very much like his old home. So I like to think that he followed us and he watched us and he whatever, blah, 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 blah. So I've never felt unsafe in this house that's over 100 years old, but I always felt kind of uneasy in this house in the 70s. Yeah. So there's my little snippet of ghosts, if they're ghosts or just feelings. But Timothy has stories that I've been a part of that I would like to hear again.
I think I've been around for a couple of them.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, wouldn't... If
Ben
you don't
Ben has
believe,
definitely Ben has been around for some of the more scary ones, actually.
Yeah. I haven't been around for any of the more, I'll say, drastic, I guess.
Well, what have you been around for? Do you know?
The main thing I remember once
Batteries.
was batteries.
Oh yeah.
Haven't we had we've tried to shoot YouTube shit and the camera has died? That's also happened to Ben as well.
I've never had that where it was because of anything else. Like it's like for me, it's always been because I haven't charged my batteries always, and so
the truth comes out, Adam.
No,
you were blaming it on ghosts. You're like Casper knocked over the camera.
I've never done that. The only thing I ever
didn't.
The only thing I ever remember was a lamp very much flickering when the power strip was off.
Ah, yes.
Like it was plugged into a power strip which had an on-off switch.
That light.
Yeah, it was this lamp right here.
Yep. I would do that occasionally.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I specifically remember.
Sure. Well, my ghost stories go quite a ways back.
He's got better ones than mine.
Yeah, and they've mostly been malicious, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Well, and the history of that building in and of itself
the land
is fascinating.
In of itself, like all that land.
Yeah.
So
give me a history lesson of the land.
Okay. So my family has a farm that they purchased back, I don't know, in the early 1900s. Maybe it was like right after. No, it wasn't the early 1900s. It was like right around the Great Depression, I believe. My great grandmother purchased the farm for like $13 for I believe it was 200 acres of land.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, so she worked her ass off.
$13 buys you a Wegman sub.
Nowadays, yeah. But she worked her ass off to buy that farm, and it had been, it's still a part of our family to this day. And there has been many, many, many people who have died there, both before and after. Like my great grandmother passed away there. I was in the room for that, actually. I think I was maybe 12 or 13. They took care of state patients for a while, my great-grandmother, and then later after that, my grandfather's woman that he was with for a while, not my grandmother, but the woman after they got divorced. They had state patients in the side of the house where my Uncle Dan lives in.
Your grandpa was a part of that?
Yeah, he didn't do shit for that, though. He would not be able to do that in a million years.
Well, like, I guess I just didn't realize that it was, like, during his time. That sounds harsh, but you know what I mean.
So his woman that he was seeing was taking care of them. And I want to say there was maybe like 8 of them in total, but a bunch of them died.
They were pretty fucked up, right?
Huh?
They were pretty like fucking weird, right?
Well, they were. That was in a time when like they did fucking like electroshock therapy and shit all the time to these poor people, and you could be thrown into a mental asylum at the time for having a child without being married. By the way,
right.
So it was just during that time. And so the asylums around, like the one in Newark, the one in Geneva, whatever, they had to let these people go, and they became state patients where they could be in-home patients, etc. So some of them came from stuff like that.
And died there.
And they died in the house that I was living in, you know, not necessarily in any bad way. They just died. But their lives were not great.
Yeah.
So that energy, and so in any case, in my grandfather's house, that's where the patients lived, and there was a bunch of them that died there. In the house where my mother grew up with her 2 siblings and my grandmother and grandfather when they were together, which was directly across from it, and my Aunt Betsy lived there too, which is the one that I have recurring nightmares about.
The one right next door where I parked incorrectly. Okay.
That's correct. That one had all the funerals would be in the living room.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, that one still just, I really don't even like being in that house.
I've never stepped foot.
Yeah, I don't think I've
no,
never seen it.
You guys wouldn't have.
So I think there's other people there at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So where my mother's house is now, which is brand new, we built a ranch house when I was, I believe, 16 years old, on the edge of the farm. And on that road, County Road 13, there's always been a lot of accidents where people have died, because it's by nature that bendy road where, like, if anything,
it's windy. It's probably not always the best in
Right.
inclement weather because it doesn't get that much traffic, but it gets enough to increase the likelihood of an accident.
Exactly. So prior to my mother building this ranch house, I wasn't even born when it had happened, but there was a boy, like a 17-year-old boy, that rolled his car and got killed in the front yard, basically where my mom's front yard is now.
Oh, shit. I don't think I knew that.
So there was that one. And then, Jesus, I even was a part of...
Jesus died there?
No. It was the summer...
16.
I was just going to fucking say
It was
that.
just when I bought the purple couch, like the week before.
That girl.
Someone fucking went off the road and I had to call 911. Yeah. Yeah. So that shit was happening all the time.
That was like this past year or two, right?
Yeah, last summer.
Yeah.
Yep.
She got hurt pretty badly, right?
She did.
She did.
She's
Okay.
fine now.
Yes.
She like
That's
broke
good.
her pelvis bone and stuff.
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to use the jaws of life to get her out and whatever.
Crap.
She was good though. I mean, she wasn't like
Awesome that
bleeding profusely or anything.
Right, yeah.
She just broke a bunch of bones.
Awesome that it's like just fine and stuff at this point.
Yeah.
Then. Like that's
She broke bones. That was it.
Yeah.
Not that's it. I'm sure it was
No,
terrifying.
but that's amazing to be able to walk away from. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was pretty crazy.
So shit like that happens there all the time on that road. So going back to the fact that my mother, had this house built on land where somebody had died. When I lived there with her for my last 2 years of high school, I would wake up with, and at the time I was, I don't think it was in high school actually. I think it was a couple years after high school when I was still living before I moved out. When I worked at the factory and I found the kid my age dead. So I was going through some shit anyways, and I was on.
What?
You don't know that one?
I don't think you've ever told me that story.
Well, okay.
I mean, we finish this, I guess, but we
Yeah,
got to
that
get
might
back to that at some point.
Yeah, that might be an off one, off episode one, just because people will probably know who it is and things like that.
Right.
And it
Yeah,
was
but I just-
pretty awful.
Yeah, I'm just shocked I haven't heard that particularly.
Yeah,
just
I'm
for
shocked too.
So I was
getting
going through PTSD anyways, and kept on. I was like waking up and thinking I was gonna die and whatever else. So I was on antipsychotics at the time, which probably played a role.
Oh, he's sweet but a psycho. No, that song. Sorry. Oh, okay.
So in any case,
Inappropriate.
I started to experience in my Klonopin haze,
Klonopin sucks. By the way,
some kind of. I want to say
Never tried
it
it.
was like sleep paralysis.
I would not be shocked.
Which I've never experienced, but
Well,
I've
you
heard
don't-
is fucking
Yeah,
insane.
you don't want
And
to.
I wouldn't be shocked
fucking
with
horrible.
Klonopin too, just because of how weird that drug interacts.
Yeah, so in my Klonopin haze, I would experience all this sleep paralysis and whatever else. So, fast forward, I didn't like the medication I was on. I was on it for like a year. I had to be on it because I was just fucked up from this bad experience that I had. And I continued to have it. So I chalked it up to maybe it was the medication was giving me these awful, awful, awful nightmares all the time. And I would wake up screaming. I'd wake up feeling like someone was pulling me out of my sleep. I would wake up and not be able to move, etc.
And this was all at your mom's house?
This was, yeah. So it got so bad that I started sleeping out on the couch outside of my mother's bedroom. I'm not even kidding. For like 3 months straight. She'll tell you that too. Like, here I am, a grown man, having to sleep on the couch next to my mommy's room because I was terrified.
Bitch.
Of whatever I was experiencing psychologically because of whatever happened to me with the PTSD and the meds, or if it was something more. Mm-hmm. But the point is, when I got off the meds, even years after, I continued to have these experiences.
Right.
But that's when it all started. When it all started was directly correlated to the passing of this boy that I knew and worked with. And it's continued ever since.
Okay, I didn't think I knew that. So you believe
no,
that,
I know. I don't believe.
Hold on.
Okay.
So you know that... No. I have to rephrase this. So you believe that after this kid had passed, shit follows you and shit attacks you when you sleep?
You're making it sound really fucking stupid.
No. I'm not. I'm really not meaning that. I'm trying to just generalize everything that you just said into a yes or no question.
The nature of which
yes or no question.
No, it's not a yes or no question. I'm going to elaborate.
No. I'm trying to.
I'm going to answer you.
Simplify this so I have a better understanding.
Simplification.
I'm going to give you the back on it now, the backstory on it.
He's getting mad.
I'm a little annoyed because it makes it sound so stupid.
I'm not trying to make you sound stupid. I'm not attacking you.
Right. So the nature of how it had transpired with the boy at work, mm-hmm. I had to move his body to help him, and I was touching a dead body. I was the last last thing he felt was me. So I think that whatever happened, if he was in fact still alive when I was attempting to save his life, mm-hmm. which didn't matter because he was dead, his blood was pooling and everything.
Yes. Moving on.
Then my contact with him would have been the last thing that he had experienced.
Okay.
So, whatever, if it was consciously or not.
Okay.
Right. So I think that from that, don't rush me. if whatever that experience was from that point forward, I don't want to say that I have contact with the dead, but shit has happened to me since. Whatever negative bullshit experiences that I've had with whatever you want to chalk it up to be, bad energy, ghosts, whatever you want to call it, has been from that point on.
So then yes, the answer was yes to my question.
Yeah, but I wanted to explain the reason why, because of whatever, how that had transpired.
No, yeah. I mean, makes sense.
Right. So, yeah.
I mean, that wasn't simplifying it, really. All I asked was for simplification.
Simplification. No breathing.
So, then I moved out of my mom's house. Those things had continued to happen.
So did you move out of your mom's house because of those things?
No.
Or just in general?
I wanted to? Yeah, I just had enough. So we weren't getting along anymore. I was 22. I needed to move out. So I moved out to a really nice place in Victor and lived there for a year and a half. But when my lease was up there, I had to move in. I didn't have to, but I asked my grandfather if I could move in with him, which is back on the farm again.
And did anything happen at the place in Victor?
Absolutely not. Nothing. Okay. Zero.
So then, same question, sort of. Do you still really think that since you experienced that at the old job, that it kind of opened this door for things to happen?
I think it opened up some kind of sense of negativity, and then whenever I'm in an environment with that negativity, it becomes hypersensitive.
Okay. So yeah. I guess
because that was
my question was like specifically things were happening to you because of this experience, or just generally it kind of opened up this
more observant to it.
Yes. Hypersensitive to it when it happens to be around.
That's all I was trying to get at.
Right. In a similar manner. So you didn't really have any issues with it when in Victor.
No.
How about moving here? Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're jumping ahead.
Well, yeah, sorry. We'll get back to that.
Chronological order, Adam.
Yep. Yeah.
So I moved back in to my grandfather's house. It was a setup to where, I had half the house or whatever. He had half the house. These guys know that. Not half, but whatever. I had my own section.
It's like 40-60.
Sure. And when I had
but
moved
really
in...
only he used like... His grandpa only used like 20% of it too.
Yeah.
The house was huge and we only used the first floor.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And
it was broken off into sections. So, like, upstairs in one wing was my grandfather. The other wing that was upstairs was all closed off. Mm-hmm. This is important to remember, okay?
Yeah.
So...
Because I remember those stories.
I've only been up there, like, twice. It was closed off specifically for, like, other tenants. No. Because when I was up there, honestly, baby... It was just cluttered as shit. It was closed off because you physically couldn't get into anywhere else.
Well, it has nothing to do with me, though. That was all...
No. I'm just...
Yeah. So it turned into...
No offense to your grandpa, because I love him.
But. Turned into a storage unit for my uncle, essentially, and his family. But I had lived up there before when I was a teenager. My mother and I had to live there for a little while, maybe 2 years, a year, something like that. And nothing had really happened to me at that time. But here we are. I'm 23 at the time. Moved in with my grandfather. I love the farm. I grew up there. I grew up in that house. Every weekend I'd be there with all my cousins, whatever. So there's fond memories and whatever. But here I am in this section, have my own living room and my own bedroom. And the first week...
I'm sorry. I think there's one more story before this, though. When you and your uncle lived in the second story, didn't you like find him in the corner like talking crazy shit? Well,
yeah, but he has like some kind of weird ass sleep shit.
So we're chalking that up to weird sleep shit. We're not talking it up to like weird ghosty spirit shit.
Well, if that wouldn't be a ghost, that'd be like a demonic thing.
Yeah, that'd be like a possession.
You really don't
like
thing. You don't think?
He thinks and won't admit to it. So, well, I guess if you want me to go even further back, then my uncle lived in that environment his whole life, other than when he tried to go off to so he moved out for like a short spell, but he's always been on that farm. When we were kids, he always had these horrifying nightmares. He's always had dreams of reoccurring people that have lived in that house. Mm-hmm. He does not like to admit to it, but he 110% subscribes to the fact that that place has ghosts.
Absolutely, he does.
And his sleep issues are very
similar to what you experienced when you lived with your mom.
Although he had ones that were fucking terrifying when we were all kids, and me and my cousin would spend the night and sleep on his floor or whatever. He would do shit in his sleep that was just like he was possessed. It was insane.
Even before you experienced this as an incident with this kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess.
But that wasn't ghost activity. No? That was him being a whatever. I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
But he chalks it up to something bad. And I don't deny that. I'm just saying that my personal experiences with these ghosts or whatever bad energy never happened to me directly.
Okay.
Until after.
Gotcha.
So anyways, I was 23. I moved in, and for the first week, just stupid little things. Like they come, by the way, I have the memory of a fucking elephant. All right. So
you really do.
I don't just leave things. Like I am very particular about, I have like
what socks did I wear yesterday?
No.
He's a liar. Some
kind of like not photogenic memory, but like I very much know where things are basically
like
at all times.
Almost.
Just very observant of my surroundings. So
he's so much better than us.
Well, yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking hate you.
Well, you said it.
Oh, you're the worst.
So, well, remember more. Remember me.
That's not funny. I have early Alzheimer.
Sick of them.
Alzheimer.
How's that wine?
Baby, there was only like a swallow. What are you talking about?
Swallow is a kind of bird. So the first week of which I was living at my grandfather's place, just these stupid little things would happen. Like I'd wake up and my remote controls would be in the middle of the room, very delicately placed how, like, just collectively together.
You're right. I remember one of those.
I'd wake up to whispering in my ear. I'm a
bad.
very, very light sleeper
He
too.
is.
Like, incredibly. You know that sensation where you can feel someone watching you?
It's
I wake
incredibly-
up to that.
Inconvenient how much of a light sleeper he is as his partner in life.
So, just stupid little things like that. But
I
then,
can't fart without him waking up.
periodically throughout the years, I would have little spells of things that are that much more apparent. Like, there'd be little annoyances, like the remote controls or whatever, like the stupid typical cliche bullshit, like, how did my keys get there? How did this happen? But then there were, like, literal malicious bad things. You know, anything from pounding on the walls periodically from the time, and this is gonna all sound so cliche, like I stole this from a movie, but it's actually true. Always around 3 o'clock in the morning. Always, always.
It's when you're not supposed to call Mickey
fast
Mouse.
forward to like when we started dating, I started sleeping over at your house, and there was a point where, I guess just what I kind of remember it really starting is that there was a point where we had to move your bed into your living room.
Yeah.
So the head of the bed was now connected to the wall that led up to the stairs.
The stairs, yep.
That nobody has stayed in. Nobody really goes up the stairs anymore at this point.
I think people have gone up there half a dozen times since I've known you.
Yeah.
Yes. Rarely do people go up there. And it was late at night, and we heard someone running up those stairs.
Yeah, I
And
remember
pounding
hearing
on the
about
wall.
that one.
Right.
All
And
the
like,
time.
we were close enough to the door that everybody uses that we will always hear no matter what if someone was coming in. So if somebody did come in to go up those stairs, we would have heard the first door.
And by the way, this is,
those
you
doors
know,
are like
3 in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, because those doors are like a yard away from each other.
right.
So I would wake up to these things happening. And by the way, that period of the year, the summertime, when that happened, that would happen every summer. Is when it would intensify. It was right at the beginning of winter and right in the middle of summer every year, like clockwork. Is when it would intensify. So that would happen, and then there was the night where there was the little girl that I kept hearing. And
I was there for that, wasn't I?
Yep, and then there was the little footprints because the fridge leaked, and there was the little footprints on the floor.
There was,
and then there was the smudge marks with the kissy face.
there was tiny little fingerprints and a kiss, like right at the bottom of a door, as if like a little kid had kissed the door.
Yeah, with the little footsteps that went through
Adam's
the
face
puddle.
right now.
Was there? I mean, based off the circumstances, though, most of the stories I would have imagined people that would be older having like passed away in that area.
There's no.
Right.
There's no. This house was built a long time ago.
Right, and also if
Also-
they're doing like if there's like family funeral
Funerals,
type
stuff
stuff,
like
yeah, that could be all over the place.
And I think supposedly, I'm not fucking Zach Baggins. Is that his name? From
no
Ghost
idea.
Bilbo
Adventures?
Baggins.
Apparently, like, I think child spirits are a little bit more active because they're probably not really aware that like they're dead.
Right.
So there was that. I remember we were laying in bed and like,
The orb.
yeah,
I
on
thought it was a
my
dryer
side,
sheet.
yeah, on my side, we were laying in bed. We were watching TV. It was on my side. It was almost like it was on my leg, and something had just like lifted up and floated down. And I was just like, oh,
And that happened all the time.
right.
All
But it was the first time that
time.
I really noticed it. And I was just like, did you see that? And Tim's like, I did. And then I just kind of let it go. And then I went to go look on the floor to see if it was a dryer sheet. Maybe I had moved and
Yeah,
like
that's
it
what it
just
was,
floated up. And there was no dryer sheet. And then there was a time where, so you had two doors. You had a door from the kitchen that led into like your living room. And then you had a door from the other living room that led to your living room, I
Yeah.
guess. So I would go out that door to go to the bathroom. I came back in, and his computer chair was sitting in front of the TV, and it looked like something had like lifted off of the chair, as if like I had caught somebody sitting in his chair. And then I did come home once because I stayed the night, and I went over after work. I remember in the morning you had plugged your PlayStation controller in to charge, and then I came home before you did, and it was on the floor unplugged. Just like those tiny little things.
Are you
But-
sure that one wasn't your like grandpa just wanted to play some Last of Us or something like that?
So yeah, things like that would happen all the time. I think that the one that bothered me the most was the experiences, plural, that Ben and I had together. For whatever reason, whatever was in that house fucking hates Ben.
I know. Side note,
Makes
anything
sense.
that I experienced, I never felt scared. I just felt as like, I don't know how to explain it. I never felt like
Well,
this
did Ben-
thing was malicious or it was out to attack us, but like Tim always felt
Yeah.
Ben
fearful.
didn't antagonize them,
No,
though, really, right?
Liam did.
That's right.
So the thing of it is for one, 75% of the time, I never felt that way either.
Oh, okay.
But 25% of the time, I was like, okay, this thing wants to get a rise out of me. It's doing it on purpose. Because the negative energy will allow it to come out more. Mm-hmm. If you read anything into ghosts, that's basically how, or demons actually, more so demons than ghosts. The more negative energy you let it have, the more it's going to come out to play. So I'm not necessarily entirely sure that I would consider that what was happening to us actually ghost.
So what would you consider it to
Well,
be?
it could have been demonic, actually.
But like, don't you think you would feel something?
I
If
did.
it were?
I did all the time.
But no, you just said 75% of the time you didn't feel scared. Like, I never really felt scared. I just thought it was more of like, okay, something's here and that's what it is.
Well, I mean, to answer that question, you have now witnessed me waking up screaming because of the reoccurring.
I've witnessed you whimpering. I have never, you have
Well,
not
I'm
once
screaming
like,
in my dream, and that's what it comes out to be apparently, in my sleep. And it's the same reoccurring demonic woman that I see every time.
Right. But again, I've never felt.
Okay, well,
So you don't believe in demons?
I don't know if I believe in demons, but like, I'm just saying that like Tim and I are experiencing the same thing. He's clearly getting something more fearful out of him where I'm not. Like, I just see it.
Well,
It's more of like it's okay. Like,
As was
something's
kind
here.
of established earlier, though, Tim is most likely more hypersensitive to it anyway, though, at this point, because of,
Right.
I mean, between number of experiences and drasticness, I guess, of those experiences, I'd say.
well, and then I wonder to bring that back to with the whole kid dying. That's part of me wonders if that's the reason why Ben was so hypersensitive to it, because of what happened to him with his heart transplant and everything.
Maybe.
But either way, it seemed though as though like when 100% camera is around, it hated the camera.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they were, whatever it is, I don't know. Because there were so many times where Ben and I were minding our own business, just shooting a YouTube video, and then his camera would just die. Or when we were shooting Black Orchid, both in the living room and upstairs, he had it so that his microphone was thrown once, and then upstairs, the microphone was thrown once, and then we caught those very eerie voices.
I remember that, because I was, I didn't help with those shoots, but, so I wasn't there for it, but basically my role on that project was to take care of most of the audio. And so I remember pulling those audio files in and like messing with them and seeing like, oh, this is odd at the very least.
Right.
I didn't know how to really process that.
So there were those ones, and then basically it kind of calmed down. I mean, Catherine and I had spent the night together so many times. So I think after that point, the voices, we had experienced maybe half a dozen more, because that was the summer with the voices when we would wake up to the banging and stuff, and whatever that little girl thing was.
I don't really remember the little girl.
Well, it was around the same time that the little fingerprints on the window. But then, here we are, we moved here, and I've had, I guess, a few just, I don't know, eerie feelings and bad dreams that are reoccurring of the same demonic, ghostly figure that I've had for the past, I don't know, a couple years.
And apparently Gavin our roommate, has also had a dream of a woman in this apartment townhouse. We live in a townhouse on this like apartment property, but she was like covered in sores. I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
And I don't really know about Gavin's like history, if he believes in anything or if he's experienced really anything else. But he said that he's just like, yeah, no, I had a dream we were here and like this woman in store. So I find that odd that like we're having dreams in this brand new place. We haven't even been here. What, this is our
2
third
months.
month living here.
Yeah.
March will be the third month that we've lived here, and
Yeah.
like both of them are having these dreams.
Well, and Gavin is a little, I think he does believe in ghosts, and he's a little sensitive to it too. I don't remember exactly why. We'll have to get him on here in some time and talk about it, but he has seen his grandfather at his farm, or like felt that it was his grandfather, like fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
And at his old apartment, he would have things happen to him all the time. So I'm not sure, like, he's told me a few stories. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but
I heard that. I fucking heard that.
It happened earlier too. The door was squeaking with the wind.
But the door's locked now, and that's like a really sturdy lock.
Earlier when it was locked as well. It happened right before I went outside to vape. I promise you.
so in any case,
Fuck all of that.
and I've noticed too, it's just as a side note, since there's so many side notes, that the more I subscribe to it, the more I watch, say, a scary film about possession.
The YouTube algorithm pushes it towards you more.
No. Say I watched a movie that was disturbing to me in that way in my old residence, I would feel that energy more. That negative energy would come out to play more.
So I feel like that I'm not a skeptic because I do believe in this stuff, but I also like to think that there's a logical explanation behind certain things. So do you think it's possible that after watching a movie like that includes spirits or possession, that maybe you're just
Looking for it more?
You're almost looking for it, or you're almost like more aware of it because you're kind of tricking yourself.
I lean towards. And granted, I have very little in the concept of like personal experience with it, and I'm very much I tend to be very like much like a realist. Like, okay, I need to see something or experience something for me to really subscribe to it.
Do you?
I do.
But do you believe in God though?
I do.
So then
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. Don't even.
it's not a whole other thing. You just
Yes,
said he
it
has to
is.
see it to believe it. So that's the same exact concept.
Well, I also said experience, and I
God
make
and
arguments
ghosts
for
are not
that.
related. I don't think.
Okay.
Feeling a spirit or experiencing noises in the night, bumps in the night, is not the same as God.
Well,
Or believing in God.
to answer your question, I mean, most definitely, I think, okay, for example, if I was to drink it like a really heavily caffeinated beverage and I'm like on edge anyways, and then watch a movie like that, yeah, I might fuck myself over a little bit more mentally. But also, if you look into any of these demonic things or ghostly things, watch videos about it on YouTube about people who actually do this, and they're not like ghost adventures or whatever, which I love, but like actual people that subscribe to this and study this for like their lives, they will say that, again, the more negative energy you allow in your environment, the more the negative energy is going to come in. So I mean, I guess we'll never really know. I mean, I don't know, I don't have an answer, but there's studies, quote unquote, that say, yeah, like you watch movies about demons, and there was even that, remember I told you the other day, I think you've seen it too, the people who swear up and down that they've been haunted after watching horror movies.
Right, because sometimes what they do in horror movies is
real,
quote unquote real, and will actually,
and it conjures
like,
up some shit.
Yeah, will actually open like a window or a door, whatever you want to believe.
And you know, even if, and I don't necessarily know if I 100% subscribe to like ghosts or demons or whatever either, by the way. I'm just saying that I've had more than my share of experiences that says there's at least something. And I could even chalk that up to be, well, I wholeheartedly believe in fucking energy. Like energy as a whole, you get what you put out. And I sometimes bad shit happens to us, and then that's all we latch onto, and then that negative energy follows us around.
Yeah, and I guess that's where I kind of land a little bit more, is like, I don't know if I think necessarily like ghosts or whatever, but like, I mean, heck, every time I went over to your house, I'm like, man, this place just feels like it just felt like negative energy. Like it just felt shrouded in it. And it's like I could see that.
I thought that was your chair that time. I'm also thinking that maybe if the wind's blowing my wreath, it's a metal wreath, so like it could be scraping the door.
Well, I'm just looking at that tree across the street there, and it's just
It looks fucking insane.
It is, yeah, it's going nuts out there.
I do think it's kind of crazy that like the both of you and Gavin, have dreams or have dreamt of like something in this apartment. That kind of makes me weirded out. But I don't know if that's maybe like, because we had originally thought when we moved from Shortsville to Newark, and because when we moved to Newark, that's when we started to really feel like, okay, maybe something's here with us. We were genuinely, my mom was at least, afraid that whatever was in Shortsville that made her feel so uncomfortable and uneasy had followed us. Yeah. And then my mom, like, honest, she's just like, I know it sounds silly, but I had experienced the video camera turning on, and I guess my brother he came home and all of his closet doors were open.
Well, I mean, the first part there sounds similar to Tim and Ben's experience as well, though.
Yeah. But, like, my mom had talked to it or whatever. It was just like, hey, like, it's our house now. We're taking good care of it. Like, thank you for letting us be here. And I guess things kind of sort of stopped.
Well, and that's the thing too. I had when I first went back to FLCC before we had met. This was my year before I went to UB. I was going to school part time and working full time, and again, like clockwork, it was just that time of the year where shit would come up again, and I was just drained anyways, not getting any sleep because of homework and everything else. And I just remember being so fucking frustrated that I just yelled. I was at the kitchen table, doing my homework, and I just yelled, "You need to leave me the fuck alone." Like, over and over again. I was smoking my cigarette, doing my homework. I had negative shit happening to me for like 2 or 3 days straight, where I'd wake up to this weird shit happening to me, voices, things being moved. And I just felt its presence in the kitchen when I was trying to do my fucking homework at 11 o'clock, minding my own business, and I just snapped. Like, call it a psychotic break, call it whatever, and I was just done. And I yelled, "Leave me alone." And I remember from that point on, by the way, it never did. I mean, it would just go in spurts. It was so weird. Like, I need to look up the history of like those time periods in that house to see what kind of negative thing happened during those times.
Like during what time of the year? Yeah.
Yeah, because again, it was midsummer every year and just before winter had started. Basically, that was it. And then the rest of the year, it was totally fine. Like, nothing would happen.
And stuff happened at our house in Newark around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't experience things throughout the year except around Christmas time.
So,
real quick, just look at the window. Even the window is
our
just
window is like shaking. It's going in and out. I know.
It's so windy out.
I'm so afraid of my wreath I just bought.
The reason I mention it is because I jumped because I think it's just a conversation.
I saw you.
I know, now that we're talking about this stuff, the wind is just ridiculous.
This lamp is in the reflection of that window, and so I saw something move, and then I realized, oh, it's literally the reflection of the lamp because it just warped like in and out because that window is literally warping with the wind.
Yeah, it's crazy. I swear to God, are you sure it's the door?
I don't know. I don't like this.
I mean, I don't think it's a ghost, but
I mean, I don't know exactly what it is, but it was definitely over towards that corner, so I don't know if it's like your guys' door or if it's something outside or not.
I mean, the wind has been like this all day, and I haven't heard it until we just started talking about it.
Well, we also have the microphones.
I heard like that exact sound a few times before we started talking about this.
It sounds like a light scraping. I swear to God, it's got to be our wreath. I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go investigate. I'm a ghost hunter.
But yeah, because it happened when I went outside to vape. So, because it happened when I went outside to vape. So, it's been happening before this too. It's not like it's. Try moving it a little bit.
Yeah, it's our wreath.
Yeah.
Do you hear it?
Survey says it's the wreath.
Call me fucking Zach Baggins.
I'll call you Bilbo Baggins.
I don't even think that's his real name.
No, Bilbo Baggins is the right name of the character.
I hunted the ghost and I defeated it. So.
Defeation.
I have a ghost story, like a YouTube video to share with you guys afterwards. Go figure.
Oh, YouTube.
One of the YouTubers I watch though, it's he tells on their podcast, Rooster Teeth podcast, that he told the story of his experience with either ghost or demon or whatever it was. I think ghost was what he based off of.
I'm more upset that Tim won't ever let me take a Ouija board on the second story of his house.
I don't blame you.
Because
Well, you can do it now. We don't live there now.
okay,
Godspeed.
I
Because,
mean,
like-
if you're worried about following though and stuff too though.
you just say
Yeah.
goodbye. That's how Ouija boards work.
Is it?
Yes,
Is it?
that's how they
I
work.
don't know.
You're just a little bitch about stuff
I don't
like
know
that.
if I subscribe to all of it. Still wouldn't pull a Ouija board out in your attic. Or in your second floor. I'll say that. I'll tell you that for free.
I would. I love this shit. Like I want.
That's part of it too. Is my whole life is just lived in a like head down, avoid anything at all. Like ghosts, conversations with human beings, like anything is just like, all right, let's barrel through this and try to avoid as much as possible. So yeah, I wouldn't do anything that I think would antagonize or cause mischief.
My
managed.
fear is that if I do feel like a positive energy, like when I felt my grandpa when we had first moved to Newark, that it's like a fake energy. Because like some energies try to trick you and they're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm Gucci fam. Don't fret. And then they're like, psych, there's no such thing as heaven and hell. And you're just going to be stuck in purgatory forever.
Well, and typically speaking, again, according to whatever research you want to do, I guess, demonic beings can do that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll trick you. So it wouldn't be a ghostly thing. It would end up being like a demon, which fuck that shit. Like,
So do you really believe in demons?
I actually do. I do.
Like you believe in possessions
I know
and
that
things?
it's
Well, I mean, obviously, being that I'm religious, I do. That's why I mean, I don't do well with horror movies anyway. But like, holy crap, I'm never watching The Exorcist. Like, because
That's not even that good of a movie.
Well, no, but it'll also just mess me up.
I love that movie.
I know. Tim,
Like,
anything
I don't
Tim
know
likes, I
because
don't
I've never
like.
seen it and I never will. So there's that.
Well, so again, I'm not necessarily. I'm an agnostic, I guess. So I don't not believe in God. I don't not believe in the devil. I don't not believe that these things could happen. I also
Right,
don't
you
believe in them
it.
either.
Yeah.
I leave space for.
You just kind of are sidelined. You're like,
Yes.
you're not in the game right now. You're just like,
I leave
let
space
whatever
for
happen.
proving it to me.
Yeah.
And I will say that if you want to look at history, people can chalk mental illnesses up, like schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, etc., to being possession. But then there's just a lot of different things. Like if you want to go into the freaking section of YouTube that's going to make it so you don't sleep, you can look up shit like the real Emily Rose. You can look up all this shit that's going to just leave images in your brain where you're not ever going to fucking sleep again.
Here's so it's not my personal experience, but when I was at Cedarville, because I went to Cedarville University for a semester, during one, like, we had our entire hall was hanging out. I think, I don't know, like a Bible study or something like that, because, Christian college and all that. And like, I don't know how we got to it, but we got to the concept of like demonic presence, demonic like influence, like experience like that. And the one story that one of my hallmates at the time had of like his experience freaked like the fuck out of me. And it's like, and that's where I mean, like, if anything, I'd probably argue because of religious background and all that.
Moving back and forth.
What is?
That window.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, that's the wind.
Okay.
That's what I
We
was
already
talking about
talked about
earlier.
it.
That's what I was saying with like the lamp reflection.
I guess I didn't know what you meant because I didn't see what you were talking about.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
I'm seeing it shift. I'm like, all right.
It's the
Isn't that
thin,
ridiculous? It's just so windy.
Yeah,
that,
no, it's
like-
freaking me out for a
it's the
second.
thin, like,
yeah, that's what made me
second,
jump. I was like, what?
like the second panel of the window that's like shaking in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But yeah, like
Don't be
that's
a pussy, Tim. I'm teasing.
but like that's like
Love
that
me.
stuff is where I get really messed up and really like lost in it very easily. And
Yeah.
so it's like, because I mean, again, being religious and stuff like that.
Well,
anyway, it adds another level of like,
And-
okay, this is real, and I don't like the fact that might.
And
be a
Adam,
thing.
it's not necessarily real for me, and
Right.
that is the thing that fucks me up most.
Interesting.
Like I'm not religious at all.
I get
Again,
screwed
I
up
don't.
more by the concept of it being real than by it not being real.
What's that?
Like you're saying, the concept of it just kind of being like ghosts or ethereal type thing, right? Like where it's less, I don't know,
less real.
Yeah.
If it's just generally like a theory.
The concept of it
exist.
being real is what's like scarier to me. Like,
No, and he's saying this as somebody who's never really experienced anything.
I'm saying, what I'm saying to you is what terrifies you the most because you're religious also terrifies me the most, and I'm not religious.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we're on the same page. We're just using,
but we're just from
different words.
Different words.
Yeah, exactly.
Different strokes.
So that's interesting to me because again, very much an agnostic. I'm not a full blown atheist. I just don't know if I subscribe. Excuse me. I don't know if I've subscribed to a biblical version as told by men of the background of God and whatever else. But in any case, that does not mean, once again, just because you're not religious or you are religious does not mean that you cannot subscribe to something that's even proven scientifically through physics, and that's energy.
Oh yeah, no, and I like I said earlier, I know
you agree. I'm just
sense.
saying in general for the listeners, like the energy is something that you cannot dispute. There are just there's negative energy, there's bad energy.
But
the
there's good
energy
too.
There is.
Yeah.
Well,
it just doesn't feel like it right now with 60-mile-per-hour wind and darkness outside.
It's so dark out right now, and
there's
Halloween lights aren't really helping either.
Spooky.
Even though it's March.
There's a whole lot of science
I say
too.
that I love them personally. I just
Thank you. I'm like a witch at heart. I want to be a witch so bad.
That would be bomb.
I want to be a witch so bad.
See, and then if you guys get married at some point, you can say I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. And then it'd be a reference to Princess Bride. Continue.
Oh my God.
And then I would make a reference into Princess Bride.
But there's a whole physics behind all that too. Like, you know, ghosts could just be that energy that's stuck in a blip of time. Like if you, again, because energy can't be destroyed. So I believe that we're all 21, check my figures here, but I believe we're all 21 grams lighter when we die, and people chalk that up to being your soul that's leaving your body. I don't really know what it is. It could just be like all the breath from your lungs going out. I don't know. But I believe everyone is... You
also defecate when you die?
That's if you have any defecation, no breathing inside of your body left. And you urinate and do all those things.
Definitely will.
Oh, absolutely. I've been backed up for 4 days.
Taco Bell have we had?
Not enough.
Well, in the past week, I've only had it like 3 times. Okay, so shut up.
But there's
I have digestive issues to begin with, so I got a whole litany of problems my way.
What is
Whitney Houston?
What does Andy Bernard say in The Office when he's talking like a baby?
Well,
I have a tummy boo-boo. Would you like me to tell everybody? Hey, everybody, my irritable bowel syndrome is acting up again.
Oh, God. But anyways, so there's the concept through physics that we all live the same life over and over again, and time falls back on itself. So really what we could be experiencing is just a different sector in time.
When we die.
We could get into a whole podcast about time.
Well, no, this is our podcast.
No,
we're talking about it right now.
I know, but I mean like a whole episode about like time and different theories of existence and philosophy and stuff.
And we could do that sometime. But I'm just trying to directly correlate that ghosts doesn't necessarily have to be the same definition for me as it is for you. It could it could just be that energy. It could be a different blip in time that's happening at the same exact environment as ours. We just can't see it.
Me saying that I don't necessarily subscribe to the concept of ghosts does not mean that I unsubscribe to the concept of those things happening to you. Right. I just would probably have a different explanation as to why they happen.
Right.
And so, yeah.
As somebody who, like me personally, I don't really believe in heaven or hell, but like honestly, the whole idea of ghosts makes me want them to be like, when I think about it, since I don't believe in heaven or hell, if I die, whatever happens to somebody when they die, I'm going to die eventually. So when I die, whatever happens to you when you die, I would like to think ghosts are real. I would like to think that I am just fucking Casper. I got a cute little wiggly wobbly tail. And I'm just living my life as a ghost and I'm spooking people. I want to do that. I don't want to be like an angel living up in heaven because I don't know if God's going to like me if he's real. And I don't want to have I don't want to be like ripped up and burning all up into shit. in hell, and I don't want the devil to not like me if he exists. I want to be a
just want to
ghost.
chill at the bar, hang out with some peeps, and
Yes.
have a good
I
time.
want to haunt like a brothel. I want to haunt
That'd be
a
dope
bar.
as
That would
shit.
be amazing.
Do you get
Why
what
is
I'm
that?
saying?
Why has that movie not been made?
Haunting a brothel.
We should. Oh my God! Please make a movie and just have like a ghost just spook people.
Casper the fucking ghost.
I want to be the ghost, and I just want to hang out and live my life. Do a short film of a sad ghost living her life. I want to be that ghost.
Let's do it.
The
It's
idea
gonna
of
be
ghosts.
a ton of After Effects masking, or not necessarily After Effects.
Purgatory.
The
ton of
after
masking.
the thought of ghosts makes me feel comfortable that if I die, when I die, that's what it's gonna be, that I'm just gonna be a ghost, and that comforts me. I like to still think that I'm gonna be on this planet, and I feel like being a ghost does that for you. Tim, I'm telling you about my afterlife. Will you pay attention, please?
I am paying attention. I feel the very same way because the idea. I actually just texted this to Ben earlier just to set him off.
We
Oh, you
we have to
fucker.
get him on this by the way at some point.
I just want Ben to
was
hang out
talking
with
to
us
him about
because I've
it.
been
He's
to
like,
the
yeah, I want to
apartment
jump
yet.
in.
You
Yeah.
bitch.
He's
So-
been sick the past
Yes,
like, week and
because
stuff.
he was gonna come on Saturday, but then I fucked up my back. He's gonna come around sometime this week.
Yeah.
But I earlier at work I got into a little bit of existential crisis, and so I sent to him, how can nothingness exist if nothingness is the absence of existence? And so then it was just this
What?
never-ending loop.
love it.
How can nothingness exist if it is the absence of existence?
Whoa.
There's no such thing as nothing because nothing is nothing. So then
What the
how,
fuck?
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
So,
I haven't heard that in years.
So then I was talking to him about so obviously as a human being with a conscience, I fear that the most, I guess. But then again, we wouldn't know it. Being as dead as a doornail, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's black. It's done. It's gone.
I don't
Nothing.
like to think that way.
Well, neither do I. That's why I subscribe to the concept of ghosts.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
And to a degree, you could argue that's why a lot of people
Like heaven-
subscribe to different religions.
Yes,
and stuff,
exactly.
too.
absolutely, of course.
Everyone is just trying to find an answer, and
Right.
some are more reasonable than others. No offense, Scientology. Some
This
are
is awkward. I'm a scientist. How dare you?
Scientology.
Scientology, no breathing.
And like I don't know. So like some of them are more reasonable than others, and then a lot of them it's just like it's just people trying to find answers, and like
Well-
there's not much logic to all of it anyway.
And
I-
nobody knows the answer. What happens to you when
Yeah.
you die anyway? So
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. It's like there's no clear cut like, oh yeah, this exists and stuff. We might be in the Matrix. We might be in what's the game in Rick and Morty? It's just like you're living a random person's life, and then we're out of the game now. It's like it
Well,
could be anything.
This,
what if we're all Sims?
Well,
I would hate that.
No, now hang on a second. That's a whole theory right there. Is the
What?
simulation theory?
Yes, we talked about this.
I think I said that in like either the intro or the first podcast. Like within the first couple minutes, I said like life is a simulation or
Yeah, yeah.
something.
yeah, you told us that time was a construct.
Oh,
But-
that's right. Yeah. Life is a construct. That's what it was.
Okay.
So
Gosh,
regardless,
Sorry.
these ghostly activities tend to occur in my life all the time. I don't understand why. I don't understand what it is. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that it's something that's going to pop out and say boo.
That'd be awesome though. Like it would be awful and amazing.
I've had little experience with anything visual. Like I've never seen just a ghost hanging out, but I've heard it more than anything. I've heard it. And I have had things just banging around, move my shit, whatever else.
That's me. I'm banging you and I'm moving all your shit.
And then, you're moving my shit and banging me. And our shit moves.
I meant like cleaning up after you, moving your shit.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Could
that
be
was
both.
supposed to be funnier. Never mind, everybody.
Editing.
I don't like that the two of you fucking team up on me sometimes.
What? I don't team up on anyone.
You're a liar.
I just sit over here. I'm like the Muppets up in the balcony in the theater. I forget their names.
Holy shit.
That window's not latched. Now I'm starting to think that it's just not latched. Because the other one's not moving. Are you going to go figure it out?
Yeah. Maybe the window
It's the time for Tim's ghostly investigation.
We just think that everything is ghost related. Like, seriously, anytime Tim hears anything, he's like, what do you think that was?
See, I have the benefit also, since I have 2 cats at the moment, and since they're like in the basement of our house for the most part, anytime I hear anything, it's like, freaking cats. It's like,
I know. Was I right?
Because they make so much noise.
I was right. I'm a goddamn ghost detective, everybody. The window wasn't cranking it up. I was right.
I
Go
still
me.
say the wind is still insane out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's good that your window doesn't decide to ebb and flow with every single breeze.
Gavin just texted me, stop making that joke, bitch, and I don't know what he's talking about. Our roommate is upstairs in his bed.
Tell him to come down.
Which joke?
Hang out with us.
I want to know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I want to know.
Gavin! You can come down. It's safe. There's no crosses on the wall.
I want to know his.
I want to know what
Stop!
joke.
Are you talking about his hair again?
Yeah.
You fucker. He looks like Angel Face from Fight Club. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, he texted me back. What do you say?
It's been far too long since I've watched Fight Club, apparently. Angel Face from Fight Club?
Angel Face. He's Jared Leto. He's the one that gets beat up to shit.
Jared, wait,
He does.
Jared.
Yeah, he plays in Fight Club. He's the blonde-haired kid that...
Man, I gotta watch Fight Club again. It's been far too long, especially considering I call it my favorite movie.
Favorite movie.
I would agree that I would call it my favorite movie, and so I need to get back
I thought
on
Baby
it.
Driver was your favorite movie.
Oh, it wasn't for a time. I love Edgar Wright, man. I really enjoyed Hot Fuzz recently. I gotta watch Shaun of the Dead sometime this week. So, yeah. I do love Edgar Wright, and Baby Driver is phenomenal. But Fight Club, thematically, cinematography-wise, writing, yeah, no, it's got me.
Superior.
I think when we did that top 3 movies video, did I say Baby Driver or did I say Fight Club?
Baby Driver.
Wow. Yeah, Fight Club overall takes the cake
Well,
of all time.
I
But
wholeheartedly agree that it's 110% better than Baby Driver.
well, Baby Driver's still up there.
It's good.
But it's more so from just an editing standpoint.
Yeah.
Fight Club is like everything.
The music, it kind of catches all the right, except for the ending. That movie ends as really shit.
Yeah, I mean, the story as a whole isn't the most
It's nothing new.
yeah, intriguing per se.
But it's flashy and fun and poppy.
Well, and again, like the editing, especially in the first 2 sequences, that driving sequence and the walking sequence is just it. Oh,
Spider-Man 3.
and being that I'm an audio person, like both of those just nail it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what were we saying?
Call him Jesus.
What did Gavin say?
What? I can't hear you. It's just mumbles.
Then why would you comment on the joke?
I don't fucking... Oh, God. So this might conclude the ghostly activity. There's been no shortage of experiences for me. Even after moving, I've had these weird... I've actually had 2 nightmares here. I for some reason, I directly correlate my dreams to bad presences because... both times that I had those nightmares here, I couldn't sleep for about 3 or 4 hours after. And the last time it happened at 3 a.m.
Yes, that is something
Don't call
weird.
Mickey Mouse. Sorry, that's a dumb YouTube thing. Continue.
So I can't remember exactly why I woke up, but I woke up at like 2:55 in the morning, and then I just kind of laid there, and I heard him like whimpering. And I immediately thought, like, well, I'm going to check my phone because if it's at 3 o'clock, that's fucking creepy. You know that 3 o'clock's like the witching hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So I checked my phone when I heard him like whimpering in his sleep. And I was like, 2:58, not 3 o'clock. Nothing ghostly's happened here. And then he woke up right at 3 a.m. And I'm like, fuck. Now I have to burn him at the stake.
Yeah.
Like clockwork every time.
I have another YouTube video for you guys.
Great.
Yep.
Is that it? I'm just really glad that we talked about ghosts because I totally am into ghosts.
Yeah, if you guys liked the podcast on Ghost, let us know and we can elaborate more. I've got a lot more stuff.
Way too much. Way too many experiences and stories. It's
A lot more experiences and
freaky.
stories, both with myself directly and with my family that have all lived on that farm. The farm, for some reason, contains quite a bit of negative energy, and I actually began to wonder if it was... I mean, it was part of the oh my gosh, Harriet Tubman.
Underground Railroad.
Underground Railroad.
Yep.
You
It was-
uncultured swine.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
We've also all had a little bit of alcohol, and it's been a long day.
So it was.
I've done fucking nothing all day today, so don't even. I am perfectly aware where I am right now.
Tim worked, and I dealt with stuff as well.
That's very specific.
I had church this morning, and I was filming my brother's third sermon, so I was at church for about 6 hours this morning. And
that's fun. With no sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a part of like the Underground Railroad route and whatever else, like Geneva, whatever, that whole section of just old stuff, like whatever. There's lots of negative stuff that happened around that area. So I definitely have more stories. So if you guys are interested, we can do another one, a part 2 about the ghostly affairs that happened.
If you just want to hear Tim talk more,
also
let us know.
Well, also if you just have anything in particular you want us to talk about too, because I mean we just keep coming up with random topics. It also doesn't even need to be. We keep going in like depth into like, I don't know, more heavier or thoughtful kind of
which I
concepts.
Fucking love.
I do as well. It is great, but also if once in a while people want us to do something just a little bit more dumb, let's do it.
We can do dumb.
Yeah, I mean we definitely can do dumb. I'm certain of that.
I'll let everybody know right now. I am not very smart and I don't know a lot of things, so I can definitely do dumb.
I'm weirdly very smart but don't know many things.
And Tim is just the better out of the three of us. We fucking get it.
Yeah.
I don't say that ever.
No,
but
you
we
just
know that's
imply
what
it.
we know.
There's no implication.
There's a look
No
on your
breathing.
face and there's just...
It's a look on your face and an inflection in your voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yes,
get it.
the inflection.
And he just likes to remind me all the time how great he is, and I'm just like,
I do not.
You do too! Peeking?
Yeah, a little bit. Before this past moment, just my channel had peaking, and now all of them have the red mark of peak.
And now all of them are mewing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We came full circle.
Speaking of which, Pokemon Sword and Shield have been announced recently.
I don't give a shit about
Is
know.
mewing a
Mewtwo.
Pokemon?
Mew and Mewtwo are.
Wow. I wonder where they got that from. Probably from mewing.
Probably from Mewing, yeah. Well,
All right,
yeah.
we did it.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
So thank you so much for listening yet again. We would love it if you interacted with us in the comment section down below and let us know some of your own ghostly stories, and maybe you will be featured in the introduction of our next video. Also, please let us know what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, because we don't always have to, again, we don't have to do these heavy topics. We can do whatever you would like.
Also, just to clarify, if you're listening on some platform like, I don't know, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, I don't know where we have this yet at this point. I need to figure that out. But some of those probably won't have comment-based sections, so I would highly recommend at least just finding the YouTube video that surely exists as well, just for the sake of at least commenting. Maybe give it a little subscription and a watch. Who knows?
And let us know.
I made a nice visualizer for it.
Let us know your favorite color. Send us in pictures of your pets and give us their names, because I like to look at pets because I really want a pet. And tell us you like us.
Yeah, specifically that
like
last
us.
one. I really need.
You really want pictures of pets? Me
Validation.
too.
No
Absolutely.
breathing.
I need the validation.
I need pictures of pets.
I could go for both.
Okay.
And no pictures of your fucking
Wiener.
parts. Those are pets.
Fuck.
They're not pets.
You took it to like the most weird place.
There's some pervert out there that's like, I'll show you my pet.
Well,
Nobody's
yeah, Tim,
listened to us
you're
yet, so I
right
don't know
here.
what you're
We
talking
know
about.
this.
You frustrate me.
My goodness.
Do you like
All
my
right.
cardigan?
It's very warm. And it smells like you.
We are Rock City Trio.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, because everybody else said it, so I should say it too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. DeBella subs are the best. Bye.
Well, hold on a minute.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, what?
they are really good.
They
but
are
I'm just really
fantastic.
hungry. Will you make us dinner?
But Wegman subs are also
They're the
amazing.
same. They're the same bread.
I mean, I believe it, but
That's a whole episode in itself. The
but a-
DeBella's
but a buffalo
conspiracy. We
chicken
need
sub
to
at
end this.
Wegmans is better. But getting an was it Godfather?
Yes,
Getting
the
a grilled-
Godfather.
Grilled.
That's my
no,
favorite
grilled
sub.
Dagwood. Getting a grilled Dagwood at DeBella's is my jam.
Yes. And
Okay,
on that
bye,
note, which one's better,
everybody.
DeBella's or
Bye,
Wegmans? Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
DeBella's better.
Bye. Bye.
Stop.